What's up, guys? I'm Dan Sperry, the anti-conjuror from the Illusionist show. We're here in Salt Lake City at the Capitol Theater, and people kind of wonder what magic's all about. I'm going to show you right now with something very simple. It's just a simple test using a few playing cards. I'm going to show you the cards. I want you to keep a look at them. Got them? Perfect. First question I'm going to ask is, how many cards am I holding? If you said 5, that's correct. I'm holding 5 cards. Good job. You counted them. The next question is going to get a little more difficult. What's the top card? Not necessarily this top card, but the card that was on top of the fan when I spread them. If you said that you saw the ace of spades, that's correct, because it was the ace of spades. Like I said, the questions get a little bit harder. If you missed that, what's the color of the backs? When I fanned them, I showed you both sides. If you said blue, now they're actually red. But if you missed that, then you actually missed the royal flush that I was holding this entire time. See you at the Illusionist.
Illusionists. And then it says, witness the impossible. And it's in town now. Opened last night at the Capitol Theater. And we have one of the Illusionists, the anti-conjuror, Dan Sperry, with us in the studio today. Hi, Dan, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you guys?
Well, thank you. Dan, what does it mean that you are an anti-conjuror?
That really actually doesn't mean anything. It's just a word I made up. This is a word I made up that
Thanks
sounds
for being
fun.
honest.
No, that is. There is no interesting story behind it, really. The way I came up with it was okay, so this is going to sound really lame, but there's more lame things than this in the world. But there's magic conventions, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And when I was about 16, 17, my friends and I were at a magic convention, and it was at this big hotel, and there was a dance competition or a gymnastics, something else like that, where there were a bunch of girls there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to him, and I was like, dude, we can't, if we talk to him, we can't tell them we're with the magic convention. That's just gonna sound like the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like, we're gonna tell them we're in a band, and it's called anti-conjuror, and I just came up with the word, and then I was like, whoa, that was fun to say that. That kind of felt good. Yeah. So then I ended up using it later on. We never talked to any girls anyways, because we do magic tricks, so it was just pointless anyways.
It's funny that you say that. Is there a certain personality type you think that goes into magic and illusion and tricks?
Sort of. There's the stereotypical types that are like Job from Arrested Development, for example.
Yeah.
But then there's also, types that really actually can see it for its artistic, performance art-esque type purposes, and have visions of using magic as a tool to create emotions that stuff like music or movies would. Mm-hmm. And then there's some guys that take it a bit too far and it gets weird. But
I lived next door to one of those guys for a while.
What is So the Illusionists witness the impossible. How can you describe for people the experience? It says that there are, I know there are several different illusionists, different magicians in the show. How many?
Yeah, there's 7 of us from all over the world, and it's kind of like we each have a different genre. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of something for everybody. And there's a live band on stage, so there's not just a recorded music track that just kind of cue the music gets played. They're always kind of jamming and doing something, so that makes it really have a different feel to it. And it also it uses some special effects to a degree, pyrotechnics. There's explosions and fire and smoke. And then there's a cameraman too. That's probably the most unique part about it. There's 2 guys with a camera. One stands at the back, of the theater. The other one, he actually roams around on stage and throughout the audience. So as people, some of the performers go out into the audience or they're on stage, this camera feed is live and gets projected on big projector screens. So you can see all the way around things, because we're aware that modern audiences are very smart and intelligent. They're not they were maybe in 1910 or something. So if there's something happening on stage, if you're in the audience, you might think well, if I was up there, if I could see closer, if I could see around the other side of what's going on, then maybe, you know, I can figure it out.
I could figure it out.
Yeah, but no, but then the guy, so we're aware of that, and there is really nothing to hide in that sense. So this camera guy, he shows all sides of everything that's happening, gets up close on a lot of stuff, and so it also helps out too, in the case of the people who are like in the back row of the balcony.
What kind of magic do you do? What kind of magic do you do? What's your specialty?
Well, in this case, in this show, I dial it back a little bit because it is you know, a family show, but family, you know, is very different than a kids show. You know what I mean? Yeah. So people, you know, sometimes get that idea mistaken. If it was a kids show, they call it a kids show, but it's a family show. So there is something for everybody. There's something for the moms, something for the, you know, the little kids. There's something for the teenagers. There's something for the grandparents, and so I'm the one for the grandparents. And
you don't look like you would be for the grandparents.
Grandparents, the grandmothers love me.
Gene, did you just tweet a
Bake
picture?
me cookies.
I just tweeted a picture of you dancer, but you remind me of somebody I would see in Jim Rowe's Circus Sideshow.
Jim Rowe's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
email each other a lot.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like him.
Yeah.
So what kind of
What are we
magic?
talking about?
What kind of magic? You
right.
do?
Back to a regular
and
show.
just when I say you don't look like you'd be the friend of the grandparents, yeah,
No, I know what you're
piercings and tattoos and
Yeah.
so forth.
What depends on whose grandparents you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Jim Rose's
Jim
grandparents.
Rose's grandparents,
I think Jim Rose could be a grandparent. He probably is.
He is.
Probably a great grandparent.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. But like, so I do stuff with like candy and some like broken glass and little mutant babies, and I don't want to give away too much because it's about. I would rather it be a surprise.
What do I mean? Like, is it close-up stuff or big prop stuff?
A little bit of both. They kind of, you know, some of us kind of alternate, you know, back and forth between some more close-up stuff and then some, you know, big stuff. I do something with an audience member from the audience and play a game of Russian roulette with them. That's one of like the main things. But it's a very like organic one. Everything gets set up in front of the audience, so it's under the premise that this is a game you can play at home with things you have around the house. So, so we set it up that way.
Yeah.
So everything's very like simple. You know.
By the way, you can get tickets for the Illusionists simply by going to arttix.org. Simple as that, and the shows run through.
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, there's a show. The Sunday. There are two shows on Sunday, 1 p.m. and 6:30. So they just run through Sunday of this week. Well, Saturday of this week. Sunday is the beginning day of next week, to be technical. But they run through this weekend.
You don't have to wait for the weekend either. They're going tonight.
Yeah, we added like a second show Friday, I think.
It says here there's a show Friday the 26th, a 5 p.m. performance. And it's constantly moving, no break in the show, right?
Well, there is an intermission.
There is an intermission?
Yeah, we have to do that because the venues like to sell candy and stuff.
Yeah.
And people have
and T-shirts and merch and stuff.
Yeah. People have to stretch.
So you did the. How did you get into the show?
I'm one of the only guys that's. There's only three of us that are. No, two. There's only two of us now that have been in every version of the show, of the original cast. There's not many left, but it started 3 years ago, and it started as a thing for the Sydney Opera House. It was just going to be like a one-off kind of deal for the Sydney Opera House, 3-week run, and the producers did like some like almost like a headhunting, talent scouting through the internet and through word of mouth and reputations, and so they found me back then, and we went and put the show together for the Sydney Opera House, and it was already. It's sort of word got out about it so well there that it started actually selling out before we'd even opened, and the whole 3-week run sold out, and then it just kind of started snowballing. And then other tours picked us up, and so like they just found me through YouTube, and I had my own off-Broadway show running for a couple of years, and they came and saw me there just to sort of, because that was the thing that they wanted to make sure. Is that, you know, you can watch a lot of magic on TV or on YouTube, but a lot of guys can't do live performances.
Right.
Because it's all just, you know, with the thought for a single camera thing in mind or something like that, you know, or a very, you know, group of 2 or 3 people and it's secretly their best friends. And, you know, so they wanted to make sure that these were performers that could actually carry a real live show, you know, all over the world and for different people. And so, so I fell into that, and some of these other guys
Who
too.
was the one performer or performance that you saw that made you decide this is what I'm going to do? Was there one? I mean, like for me, it was Penn and Teller.
That got you into magic.
I saw Penn and Teller on David
yeah.
Letterman, and that got me interested right away.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I saw Copperfield when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I was like 4, and my grandparents took me to see Copperfield. And he used to open the show with this thing called the Death Saw, where he gets like chained and like locked down to the stable, and he has to escape before this big spinning saw blade comes down on him. And the premise is it supposedly goes wrong, and it falls too early. And so you see him get cut in half, right? And he gets cut in half, and the table separates, and his legs are moving over here, and his top half is moving over there. And but at 4 years old, I thought he died. I thought I saw a guy die, so I lost it and I freaked out, and we had to leave the theater. And so as part of that, it was kind of shown to me like these are magic tricks. Here's a little magic kit, and
Here's how you do it.
So, yeah, basically, and that kind of got me curious. And it was more, even too is like a thing like, okay, well, so this is something that I can do that maybe adults can't figure out or understand or can't do, so it kind of gave me like a little bit of empowerment over the grown-ups.
It's interesting. The Illusionists, produced by a company right here in Salt Lake City, Magic Space Entertainment.
Yeah, Magic Space. Yeah,
Magic Space is based here. They produced it on Broadway. Is it still on in New York?
No, we did the Broadway run,
Yeah.
and now we're doing the whole national tour. But we're going to go back to Broadway,
and
in
then
the fall.
it's going to go to London too, right?
Yeah, they're going to split it
West
off.
End?
Send one to London, one version to London, one version's going back to New York.
That's unprecedented. It's going to be
Yeah.
in London, in New York, and it's touring the country. And it's all based right here, produced by Magic Space Entertainment.
Cool.
And you know how Magic Space Entertainment got their start? Really got big, producing David Copperfield.
Really?
Yep, it all comes back.
All right.
You can hear more about that if you listen to my podcast, the Let'sGoEatShow.com.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to the
I'm sure
people.
Bill would like it if you listen to
But
his
you
podcast.
you could listen to that podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you. It's Dan Sperry.
Yeah.
The show. He's described here as Marilyn Manson meets David Copperfield. Do you like that?
No, I didn't. I never. I don't know why they use that.
Here,
it
I'm
just sounds-
crossing
it's
that out right
It's
now.
written right there.
I don't know why they
didn't-
use
I
that.
didn't think you would like that.
No, that got said. I did a thing on Fox like 5 or 6 years
Yeah.
ago, and they said that, and then it kind of just stuck.
How did I know he would? not
Marilyn
like
Manson's a big doughy guy. You're a lean.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm not nothing against that, but it paints the wrong picture. Just because
Yeah.
it just paints the wrong. Nothing against like one of my
because-
best friends is Manson's ex-roommate, so like I have nothing against that.
And
that
my grandmother hates Marilyn Manson, so that just doesn't work.
I just
Okay.
knew you wouldn't like that.
Well, it doesn't. That just sounds like so corny.
The
saying that.
Illusionists. It's get tickets at arttix.org. Performances, plenty of performances left going on through Sunday with 2 shows on Sunday, 1 p.m. and 6:30. Check it out. Should be great. Lots of great magic, and nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah.
No worries.